Hello everyone, my name is The Ultimate Spy, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a spoiler review of Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Now, since we're in the beginning of January, I felt it wasn't too late to do a review of this movie just because it didn't come out that long ago, and I knew that based off of the movies I've already planned to review for the remainder of the show, that I would never get to this episode, and so here I am with the review of it. This is going to be a full spoiler review, talking about everything about the movie just based on the first viewing of it, and I will say that I was surprised. I was very surprised by it. It was an incredible episode, a great way to end the saga, and not only that, but the end of this decade marked the end of the saga for Star Wars, as we know it so far at least. Until, of course, they make new movies in a couple of years. But still, this movie was incredible. I will say that I liked it a lot more than the last two. I felt like Force Awakens and The Last Jedi were both great movies, but I just didn't feel as satisfied with them as I did with this one, because this one definitely felt like a really satisfactory end to it. There was a lot of amazing things that surprised me in this movie. I mean, obviously, the title alone, it's really interesting the way they set it up, because I remember when they originally had leaked titles for Episode 9, it was the first one was Son of Darkness, which obviously implies Kylo Ren from Ben Solo. Makes no sense. And then the Vendetta Protocol. Now that makes no sense. What is Vendetta Protocol? And that was like a leaked image of the title when people were still talking about it. I think it was like, it was just like what, this could be the title. It's like, it would not have worked. And The Rise of Skywalker actually made a little more sense, although it was still a mystery, because we don't really know what that implies, because, Ben Solo is the last of the Skywalker line, and he lives on through Leia. She's a Skywalker also, and Luke died and became a ghost, so it doesn't really make sense how that would work, except of course for Kylo Ren to redeem himself and return to being Ben again. I mean, that makes sense. It'd be the rise of Skywalker. Skywalker has rise. But then at the end of the film, we have the answer. The answer to why it's called the Rise of Skywalker, because Rey doesn't know her family. Apparently, in the movie, it turns out that Palpatine, or Sheev Palpatine, now the family name is Palpatine, we just associate with Palpatine because it sounds better. Palpatine must have had a wife, then gave birth to a son, who then had a wife, and they then gave birth to Rey, and then Rey never got a last name. And it turns out that Rey's actually a Palpatine, although Rey wasn't willing to accept that because he didn't want to be turned, which is insane, because Palpatine comes back in this movie, and it's in, the full flesh form. Although, I saw a video talking about the fact that the reason why that happens is because when Palpatine died at the end of Episode 6, his essence was then, carefully extracted. The acolytes around the Death Star, when that was happening, took his body and were able to preserve his soul so that he could live on in a new form, and they were able to revive him. And that's basically why. And so, with Rey, she's not willing to accept that she's a Palpatine because it means, turning the dark side, and that's, not who she is. And so, at the end of the film, because Luke and Leia felt like parents to her, metaphorically, not literally, not biological, but metaphorically in a way, they were like her parents. She would then went on to take on the Skywalker name, which is why this episode is called The Rise of Skywalker, because it's the rise of the Skywalker line. It'll never die because everyone lives on Rey. That's kind of how the Episode 9 trailer went on, where Luke, or Ghost Luke in this case, said a whole generation lives in you, which means everyone lives in her. Which is incredible. The way they used Carrie Fisher's scenes were incredible. I was watching a video, Emergency Awesome actually, the fact that he explained that the way that we use her footage, it would make it look like it was new footage. Just cut out her body from a previous scene in the last two movies, and then superimpose it onto the new scene. Add some new color correcting and all that stuff, and then have the actor respond to the scene that she was shot originally in. Change the writing and all that stuff, and make the script work with the scenes they had shot before she unfortunately passed away. Now it was really heartbreaking to hear. But even then, that able to use her scenes was incredible, and it's so amazing to just see everything come together. Just seeing her interact, it works perfectly, and they did a really good job. Although one scene that really made me go, what? So, ever since Disney bought Lucasfilm, they have taken the expanded universe, the EU of Star Wars, and called them Legends. And basically that means that, thousands of Star Wars stories that happened, in between episodes and also before the entire timeline were considered non-canon, which is stupid. and I still refuse to believe that. I still refuse to follow that new rule they have, because it's stupid, because it's ridiculous. Because I was a Star Wars nerd before they were bought. I'm not saying that Disney has ruined Star Wars. I'm just like, that's one of the decisions that I'm not going to agree with, and I'm not going to follow it. So I'm just going to read the books, because they just quote eliminated years worth of really really good storytelling. And yeah, like I know they could make new movies or whatever about those stories, but it's like, when? It's gonna be years until that happens. I might as well just start catching them now. So it's kind of like that. But yeah, they had a scene in episode 9, and I was actually really surprised about this, because they've done previous things like that in the previous installments of this trilogy with The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, where they've had visions of the past with all that stuff, and it's incredible. But they recanonized Leia becoming a Jedi, because that's part of the legends. Oh, I don't really know if it's actually categorized as legends, because some of it's not legends and some of it is legends. It's confusing. But in the EU, I haven't actually read the story about it because I'm so far behind. But essentially, Leia is trained by Luke to become a Jedi, and then she has to stop a few years later because she senses that Ben is in trouble and could be turned, and it does end up happening, which is why she gives up her Jedi training. And they use some CGI, I'm pretty sure. I think it's the same thing they did with Rogue One, where they had someone who had someone build, and they just superimposed a CGI model of the original actor's face onto that model. And the same thing happened with this one, where we saw this training montage with young Luke and Leia. Based off, I'm assuming episode 6, what they look like in episode 6. When Rey goes back to the island that Luke was on in episode 8 and sees Ghost Luke again, because he obviously died at the end of the last one, he tells her about an event that happened in the past, and that was the way they did it. They used a little bit of CGI, I'm pretty sure, to do that, and it was incredible, because not only get to see Leia in training, which was surprising. I was the most shocking thing I've ever seen in a Star Wars movie was seeing a character that I would never have thought of to be training as a Jedi, actually training as a Jedi, which is incredible. And then we have this entire room where I'm pretty sure it's the Sith planet Korriban that they go to with Ben Solo. They go to the Sith planet Korriban in this this stadium, and the Palpatine's here, and they basically have to fight him. It's incredible. And there's a point where Rey hears all these Jedi voices inside of her, and I was always thinking before the movie came out, I was hoping they would have ghost cameos by the past Jedi. They didn't do that, but it was I was hoping they would do it, because it was a rumor when the movie was still in production, is the fact that they were gonna hopefully bring back Hayden Christensen and reprise his role as Anakin Skywalker for a ghost appearance, but it never happened, because it was just it's a cameo. But also they had new dialogue from past Jedi, past actors who played Jedi, like Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon, Samuel Jackson as Mace Windu, and obviously Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker, Ewan McGregor and Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan Kenobi, because they just used archived recordings for Alec Guinness. But I was half expecting them to actually put ghost cameos at the very end of the movie, kind of like what they did with episode 6. Nope. I mean, they gave us ghost cameos, but it wasn't like that. It was actually just Luke and Leia was in her princess garb from episode 4. What? A older Leia in her princess garb. It's so cool. It was incredible. And obviously the movie ended just like that. Episode 1 started on Tatooine, and episode 9 ended on Tatooine. It's incredible. It's just honestly incredible. But the other surprises that were there were obviously Lando originally came back. That was pretty amazing. We get to see essentially a female Finn. That's what Naomi Mackie, I'm pretty sure her name is. Basically a female Finn, because she also had the same kind of backstory. She returned on the Resistance after becoming a stormtrooper, that kind of thing. And apparently it's been confirmed that she's actually Lando's daughter. I did not know that. That's pretty incredible. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. It's probably my favorite of the sequel trilogy. I haven't been a big fan of the sequel trilogy. I have enjoyed them. I haven't hated them. They've been fun. They're not my favorite. That trilogy definitely goes to the prequel trilogy, and episode 1 will still be my favorite forever. I will always love that movie. It's been my favorite for the longest time. And for those of you who are tired of hearing nothing but hate on these movies, go check out the Facebook page that's basically to do with people who actually like the movies. So I will leave the link in the description for that page if you want to check it out and follow it. It's basically nothing negative about the movies, just positive. It's just fantastic. But yeah, I thought this movie really, the one cameo though that I did not expect, because no one had reported him being in the movie because he had obviously died, and there was no way he could have come back. And it was the one cameo that I'm like, what? Because the moment I heard, I'm like, oh, he's back somehow. So Harrison Ford comes back as a memory of Han Solo, which was incredible. Basically, like, it's the moment that Ben comes back and Kylo Ren dies. It is incredible because the way that works is that Leia, and this is how they killed her character off to make it because the actress had died in real life, a couple of years ago. So basically the way they really write her off and they use the footage appropriately. Somehow they were able to pull it off like that. They had footage of her dying and working into that in the deleted scenes they had for Force Awakens and Last Jedi, which is incredible. But essentially what they did was she used her Force abilities because she's part of the Skywalker family. She used a lot of her Force abilities to project a memory of Han Solo to Ben Solo so that they could connect, and because at that point Ben had been redeemed, which is incredible. We got to see Harrison Ford back again. I did not expect that. Like, what? It was just like, what? Yeah, incredible movie. It was great to see the Death Star again, specifically the Death Star 2, because again, the Death Star we see is actually the remains of the Death Star 2 from Episode 6, which is incredible. We get to see what's left of the Emperor's throne room. There's a really incredible scene where Rey goes into another room and picks up a Sith Wayfinder, which is basically the Sith hologram, but people who don't know what that is and don't read the expanded material or whatever, or even watch the Clone Wars series, they would know what that was. So they just call it something different. She gets to see for the first time a evil Rey. Oh my god, incredible. Just incredible. Like, Darth Rey, essentially. Double blade lightsaber. It's incredible, and that was like, what? But one question that never got answered, and a lot of people were also having problems with this, was the fact that that when they were in the sand dunes, I don't know what planet they were on, but when they were in the sand dunes, Finn was about to tell something to Rey, and he never got to do that. And people are theorizing that it was probably, I love you, Rey, or whatever, or I'm Force sensitive, and that, which would have been incredible because that means that Finn would then become a Jedi, basically. Very emotional for sure. A lot of the characters, like when they announced that Leia had died, like Chewie freaking broke down. Like he was just like crying. He was like, no, it was so emotional. And then, last but not least, before I wrap this up, the last thing I want to talk about is C-3PO. Oh my god, like he got his mind wiped again for the first time since episode 3. Like, what the hell? In episode 3, he gets his mind wiped, and then in the middle of episode 9, he gets his mind up again. Although, luckily, R2 is there to revive him and bring him back his memory, but like, oh my god. For the one Star Wars character to be in all of the episodic Star Wars movies, that's incredible. And the fact that, like, he was able to, he basically got his mind up twice throughout 2 trilogies. Wow. That is incredible. That is truly... wow. It's incredible to see that. But yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. It's a great way to really cap off the saga and really bring it to a close. How would you thought about the fact we actually got 2 Star Wars trilogies in 2 decades? That is incredible. Like, the entirety of almost 20 years, we have 2 trilogies. That's... wow. That's incredible. But yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to say about Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. It was a fantastic finale for the Skywalker Saga. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this review of Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button. I really appreciate it. And if you're new to this channel, subscribe for more reviews like this. Also, make sure you click that bell to enable alerts so you don't miss any of my uploads. And we'll see you next time with another video. Alright? See ya.